Good morning, everyone. This is my audience, Raj, Pujam, Heath, and beyond. So today I'm going to give a speech on vegetarianism. So in the scripture of the BAPS non-profit organization, it is written that none shall kill animals such as goat, even for the purpose of performing sacrifices. For the non-violence in itself is held as the highest ethic code. Um, there are many reasons or the products which can cause different types of diseases, different types of cancer, such as tobacco and alcohol. The main consumption of meat, such as per the study shows that the meat is the greatest cause of death in the Western world. Um, World Health Statistics, which has shown us that the highest rate of the diseases which is caused by meat are heart and cancer. Um, these diseases are the main which can cause any person to die in short amount of time, and they also take a lot of time to get recovered because one person has to go under many surgeries and operations that only he can get recover after many years. So nowadays to become a vegetarian it is hard for most of the people, but you guys can become vegetarian if you think outside the box. So now, as we all know, what I'm going to talk about today. So let me talk about it in more detail and tell you why it is important to become vegetarian. Now, as we all have heard about the meat, what happens when it is produced and how does it affect to the environment and people during the process of cutting and producing meat. Many people might be thinking that why meat is harmful to our body. The animals which are raised for the livestock are usually fattened with chemicals as it takes a short amount of time of days to grow. Chemicals such as nitrate, hormones, and antibiotics are given to them, which makes them grow faster, and these chemicals are absorbed later by the consumers. A cancer researcher at Oak Ridge National Laboratory in Tennessee, USA, Dr. Williams said that I don't even feed nitrate-laden foods to my kids, so why should human consume animals with nitrate in them? Besides that, many people habitually consume more protein and fats than they need from the meat. An excess of proteins that then causes kidney failures, and high fat food eventually lead to heart diseases, diabetes, cancers, etc. So now let us see the environmental issues. Environmental issues which have been a great issue for the people, such as deforestation, which is caused because many different companies use the massive lands for animals to live. Large areas of the forest land is cut down every day, which are changed into the grassland to provide a food that provides food to the animals, and lately which can have negative impact on the human beings because of less amount of oxygen. Trees also create an ecosystem which provides food for birds, other animals, and people. Land which are used to grow crops for animals takes almost 20 times more land than someone who is vegetarian. According to United Nations, it takes 10 pounds of grain to produce just 1 pound of meat. Basically, more land is used for feeding animals than for people who is vegetarians. Water is the main source which is being wasted when the animals are raised to produce meat. It takes a great amount of water to grow crops for animals which are then used to feed raised but not natural animals to eat. As per the para.org, a single cow used for milk can drink up to 50 gallons of water per day, or twice the amount in hot weather. But it also takes 683 gallons of water to produce just that 1 gallon of milk. But if we compare this with producing meat, then it shows it takes more than 2,400 gallons of water to produce 1 pound of beef. Now, think that if you become vegetarian, you can save triple amount of water per day. So you guys can become vegetarian if you think about saving the ecosystem in this world. By becoming vegetarian, one person can save approximately 2 million gallons of water per year. That's a lot of amount of water. So as per people who use more than half of all the water used for all purposes in the world. They can save a lot by not eating the meat, and which can also control the global warming on the planet Earth and lead the people to who will die later because there will be no water for them to drink. So the 1/3 of the energy sources in the United States are produced to livestock for the food. Um, Livestock practices for meat productions also causes pollutions. Each day, factory farm produce millions of pounds of deadly waste, bodily waste, which is then left over and end up in the lake, river, or the ocean. Trillion pounds of leftover or waste each year, and they use it to use the fertilized crops, and then end up running off them in the water waves along with the drugs and the other harmful bacteria they contain. Now, as this waste end up in the lakes and rivers, etc., they pollute the water with antibiotics, insecticide, pathogens, and other poisonous gases. You guys think that these harmful chemicals and gases are very dangerous for a person because they can affect our body so quickly, causing different kinds of diseases? Fish farms create pollution in the areas of lake and oceans because thousands of fishes are crammed into small areas. They create a lot of bodily waste that gets picked up by the waves of or the currents. This process destroys the biodiversity and spreads disease to other fishes. Now we might be wondering how it is being polluted, how it is also being polluted, but different chemicals such as hydrogen sulfide and ammonia are being released in large amount in the air due to the large amount of body waste. This factory farming also contributes to global warming. As per United Nations statistic, data difference greenhouse gas produced by the meat industry is 40% more than that of all transportation vehicles combined. Because of the large amount of methane, which is the second most harmful gas for the environment and is produced from the body waste of the animals, people who are non-vegetarian argue that meat is complete food itself, which can provide a good amount of protein every day. But that is not true. We will see further why it is not true, but this situation is overall destructive to the entire life cycle of the world. Through this will be the hard problem for many people, but there is always something we can do. So as per my opinion, based on what I've read, you should reduce meat intake every day, but that is not only for you, which can make a big impact, but a lot of people should not try and become vegetarian. So in order to get the meat industries shut down, we should inspire other people also to stop eating meat by explaining them how bad it is to produce for the whole world. As I mentioned, vegetarian food provides more protein than meat does. Food contains about 30% of protein, while as milk contains 82% and cheese 70%, etc. So I ask you guys to switch to vegetarian diet because overall it reduces the ecological footprint and also allows us to reduce the diseases for our own body. It is just a habit that we have make changes in our plates and thinking that how eating green could change our life. From the experience, I have known a lot of people who are vegetarian and they are really good, living their life happily and healthy. Many of you might be thinking that it will be hard for us to live as a vegetarian every day, but we can make a huge difference on our planet if more and more people become vegetarian. Additionally, if people reduce the amount of meat intake, we would see the good effects of the entire planet. So as we know that eating healthy food keeps our body healthy, and eating meat which contains a lot of bacteria and these chemicals would really affect our health life negatively. So in the last few minutes we have learned all the facts about the negative effects of the meat industry. So now let us all take action to improve our planet together. I hope that you all now have the right health decisions before ordering meat food. Just think for a minute that if it's ordering the food is right, because you are ordering the right food, because many vegetarian options are also available at the restaurants. Also, if you are eating meat, take some time and think how it will affect other people and other resources. By now, you guys might have so many matters of vegetarian, so you guys can really dig into it and see how eating vegetarian foods can make good health life. There are many great people who were vegetarian, such as Albert Einstein, who believed that it was his view that the vegetarian manner of living is the purely physical effect on the human temperament and would beneficially influence a lot of mankind. So I hope that I have persuaded everyone in being a vegetarian from now on and looking to change their mind and to become a vegetarian and reduce their intake of meat. So this was my speech on vegetarianism. You guys have any questions for me?
Yeah, I have one. So, what are the benefits of being a vegetarian?
Becoming vegetarian has a lot of benefits. Like meat contains a lot of bacteria in them and chemicals. Like when they raise the, let's say, chicken in the farms, they would use a lot of chemicals and bacteria to raise them so that they can grow faster. And if we take them in, we'll get those bacteria and chemicals in our system. So it would affect our health negatively. So eating vegetables and green food would make our life easy and healthy. Yeah.
Do you think non-vegetarian people will survive if they are vegetarian and try to be non-vegetarian?
I think so. Yeah. Because being vegetarian is, I know it might be hard for a lot of people, but everyone has to go through changes and like to make your life healthy and easy, you must try and think about eating vegetables and reduce the amount of meat intake. Any other questions? Thanks so much, guys, for being here, and